Welcome. Now, we will discuss space vector modulation based on direct torque control of induction motor. So, what are the demerits of the conventional DTC scheme, that is hysteresis band based DTC scheme. So, hysteresis band based DTC has high flux and torque ripple, and it is difficult to control flux and torque at low speeds. Transient response is also somewhat slow to step changes in torque during starting. To overcome these problems, several techniques have been introduced. Some are hysteresis band, variable hysteresis band DTC, increased switching frequency DTC with increased higher switching frequency, and SBM DTC technique. SBM DTC technique uses space vector modulation, pulse width modulation based on space vector modulation. So, the torque ripple reduction is done through variable hysteresis band 1 technique. In variable hysteresis band, comparator is used where the hysteresis band is adjusted according to the switching frequency. That helps to some extent to reduce the torque and flux ripple. Another way, by reducing the sampling period, that is by increasing the switching frequency, a better torque response with less ripple is obtained. In variable switching frequency, the duty ratio of the selected voltage vector during each switching period is also often changed according to the magnitude of the torque error and flux error, position of the flux error and position of the stator flux. So, a 0 voltage vector is chosen to reduce the torque. This technique is referred to as space vector modulation, which we will discuss in detail today. This is a recent technique and is very effective in improving the torque response. So, this is one figure showing the effect of reducing the sampling time, that means increasing the sampling frequency. You see in figure A, the sampling period Ts is in figure A, the sampling period Ts is large, whereas in figure B, sampling period Ts is very small. So, in sampling period Ts is very small, then you can see there will be small changes in the torque. The vertical axis is the change in torque. So, when in the figure B, when the sampling period is very small, these changes in the torque is in small steps, as you see, where compared to figure A, where change in torque is very large. So, because change in torque is very large with a larger sampling time, the overshoot and undershoot will be also large. So, this is the reference. So, this is the reference torque. So, when you apply from this initial value of torque, when you increase the reference value, so there will be sudden overshoot also due to application of voltage vector, there will be overshoot. Similarly, when we want to reduce, when we again apply another voltage vector, there will be undershoot. So, torque ripple is large, whereas with when the sampling frequency is large, time is small, sampling time, then the step change there will be small steps of changes in the torque, so that the overshoot and undershoot are small. So, that is the advantage of using higher switching frequency. So, now we will discuss some about space vector modulation DTC. Space vector modulation is a pulse width modulation for the inverter. So, it is used in generating the required reference voltage vector at any angle for comparison and pulse generation for the inverter. It is effective method for generating a set of sinusoidal voltages to drive the induction motor at varying speed. SBM algorithm used in DTC for overcoming the drawbacks of classical DTC by using voltage modulation instead of lookup table of voltage vector selection. In conventional DTC, in hysteresis band DTC, we use lookup table for the voltage vector selection, but in the space vector modulation DTC, we use voltage modulation we use for comparison of a reference and carrier, we generate a voltage signal which can have the desired reference value and at a desired angle. The basis of SVM DTC is the calculation of the required voltage space vector to compensate the flux and torque errors. Okay. So, that is most important. To implement space vector modulation, a reference voltage signal V star is generated and which has a sampling frequency Fs, that means sampling time Ts, and this Vs is a voltage vector, reference voltage vector whose magnitude and phase angle theta both are controlled and it can be at any value. So, that the flux and torque errors are compensated. That is the advantage of SVM DTC. So, next we will discuss about the inverter voltage vector. So, it is a 3-phase inverter feeding 3-phase inverter 3-phase induction motor. We have phase A, leg B and leg C. In phase A, switches are S1 and S4. Okay. So, when we say first corresponding to A, switching state is 1, that means S1 is on and S4 is up. This corresponds to output of phase A, output voltage of phase A with respect to the negative DC bus is Vd. And when we consider switching state for phase A is 0, that means S1 is up, S4 is on and S1 is up. Okay. For 0 state. So, S1 is up and S4 is on, and for that output of phase A with respect to the negative voltage is 0. So, similarly say for phase leg B, switching signal N, switching signal S3 is 1, let us say S3 is 1, that means S3 is on and S6 is up and output voltage of phase B with respect to the DC negative DC bus is Vd. And when S3 is 0, let us say S3 is 0, that means corresponding to 0 we have S3 up and S6 on and output of voltage of phase B with respect to the negative bus is 0. Similarly for phase C. So, corresponding to this we have, if voltage of phase with voltage of a particular phase with respect to the negative DC bus is either Vd, that is DC bus voltage Vd, or 0. So, corresponding to that, so for a 3-phase balanced load, we can see the output voltage phase voltage becomes 2/3 times Vd, phase voltage with respect to the neutral is 2/3 Vd. So, that means output voltage, the voltage vector Vt is given by 2/3 voltage of phase A Vao at an angle 0, we take it as reference, then voltage Vbo at an angle e to j to the 2π/3 and voltage of phase C Vco at an angle 4π/3, that means e to the power j 4π/3. Okay. So, accordingly there are 6 active switching states, 6 active switching states. So, V1, V2, V3, V4, V5 and V6, 6 active voltage sectors. So, V1, say V1 is here corresponding to switching state is 1 0 0, V2 is this vector which is switching state is 1 1 0, V3 is here switching state is 0 1 0, V4 is here switching state is 0 1 1, V5 is here switching state is 0 0 1, V6 is here switching state is 1 0 1. 6 active voltage vectors. So, V1 to V6, so they form a hexagon. So, tip of the voltage vector, 6 voltage vectors form an hexagon. So, each voltage vector has magnitude 2/3 Vd, because phase voltage of particular phase with respect to the neutral 2/3 Vd. So, accordingly we have voltage phasor Vk, voltage phasor Vk is given by magnitude is 2/3 Vd and angle is k minus 1 into pi by 3, where k is in 1 to 6, k is a number between 1 to 6. So, if k equal to 1, that means k minus 1 is 0. So, it is V1, k is 1 means V1. So, it is the reference value, angle is magnitude is 2/3 Vd, angle is 0. If k is 2, then it is 2/3 Vd magnitude at an angle 60 degree, pi by 3. Similarly, for k equal to 3, k equal to 4, k equal to 5, k equal to 6. And other two zero voltage vectors are V0 corresponding to switching state 0, 0, 0. So, magnitude is output voltage is 0, another voltage is V7, switching state is 1, 1, 1. These are zero voltage vectors. So, output voltage is 0, but these are also possible switching states. So, total 8 switching state, possible switching states, which give 6 active voltage vectors and 2 zero vectors. So, next, principle of space vector PWM. So, it treats the sinusoidal voltage as a constant amplitude vector rotating at constant frequency. The space vector PWM technique obtains the reference voltage, which we write say V reference or V star, from the combination of 8 switching patterns, like I have mentioned V1 to V6, 6 active voltage vectors and 2 zero voltage vectors V0 and V7. Coordinate transformation from 3 phase ABC reference frame to the stationary alpha beta frame is applied. So, 3 phase sinusoidal voltage waveform is transformed into a rotating vector in the stationary alpha beta coordinate frame, which represents the spatial vector sum of 3 phase voltage phasors. The voltage vectors V1 to V6 divide the plane into 6 sectors, each of 60 degree, as you have discussed. There are 6 voltage vectors, so each so making 60 degree from one another consecutive number. V reference is generated by 2 adjacent non-zero vectors and 0 vector, that is important. V reference is generated by 2 adjacent non-zero vectors and a 0 vector. Let us see how it is done. So, comparison of sine PWM and space vector PWM. Space vector PWM generates less harmonic distortion in the output voltage or currents compared to sine PWM. It is established from the results. Space vector PWM provides more efficient of supply voltage compared to sine PWM. How? In sine PWM, locus of the reference vector is inside a circle of radius of Vd by 2, 0.5 Vd in sine PWM. But in space vector PWM, the locus of the reference vector is inside a circle of radius 1 by root 3 Vd, that is important. So, voltage utilization in space vector PWM is 2 by root 3 times that of sine PWM, because in sine PWM the voltage utilization is given by Vd by 2. The locus of the voltage is locus of the reference voltage is Vd by 2 in sine PWM. In space vector PWM, the locus of the reference vector is Vd by root 3, Vd by root 3. So, sine voltage effective voltage utilization in space vector PWM is root 3 by 2 by root 3 times that of sine PWM, which is greater than 1. So, voltage is more effectively utilized. Let us understand how it happens. So, in sine PWM, so let us consider so this is phase A, switch S1 and S4. So, this is Vd by 2 and this is Vd by 2. So, total DC link voltage is Vd. So, because we have to consider a reference point, we can safely consider the midpoint as a reference point. Okay. So, when switch S1 is on, S1 is on, so then voltage of A with, say let us this point we consider as VAO. VAO is plus Vd by 2. When switch S4 is on, then voltage of A with respect to phase A is minus Vd by 2. Okay. So, for all phases corresponding voltages are either plus Vd by 2 or minus Vd by 2 for all three phases. So, because it is a it is a sin PWM, it is a continuous comparison of the reference voltage with respect to the carrier comparison, and either in each phase either S1 is on or S4 is on, accordingly voltage of that phase is plus Vd by 2 or minus Vd by 2 for each phase. So, locus of the output voltage is a circle of radius Vd by 2. The voltage utilization is given by circle of radius Vd by 2, because output voltage is either plus Vd by 2 or minus Vd by 2 in each phase all the time. Okay. Now, let us consider the space vector PWM. In space vector PWM, there are 6 active voltage vectors. So, let us draw it. So, this is V1, this is V2, V3, V4, V5 and V6. 6 active voltage vectors are like this, each at angle 60 degree. So, magnitude of V1 equal to magnitude of V2 equal to in the magnitude of voltage V6 all equal to 2 by 3 Vd, where Vd is the DC link voltage as I have shown in this figure, first figure, 2 by 3 Vd. Okay. So, if magnitude is 2 by 3 Vd, then what is maximum utilization of the voltage? That means the maximum reference voltage, corresponds to a circle. Please note it, maximum reference voltage trajectory corresponds to a circle inscribed inside the hexagon. Inscribed in the hexagon. So, this is the circle that corresponds to maximum utilization of the DC bus. So, the circle, so the side of the hexagon, say let us consider this side of the hexagon is just tangent to that circle. So, because angle between V1 and V2 is 60 degree, angle between the circle, angle between the side, this angle is 30 degree, and this touches this is the radius of the hexagon. You can determine from this, the radius of the hexagon is 2 by 3 Vd, that is magnitude of each voltage into cosine of 30 degree, because this angle is 30 degree and this is the radius. So, it is 2 by 3 of Vd cosine of 30 degrees root 3 by 2. So, it is Vd by root 3, and that means maximum reference voltage possible is Vd by root 3 in sign in space vector PWM corresponding to the circle. So, because in DC link in sin PWM, so the maximum voltage utilization is Vd by 2, and in space vector PWM maximum utilization is Vd by root 3, the effective voltage utilization is 2 by in the space vector PWM is 2 by root 3 times that in sin PWM. That is important. So, let us discuss in more detail about space vector PWM implementation and corresponding dwell time calculations. The basis of the space vector modulation DTC strategy is the calculation of the required voltage space vector to compensate the flux and torque errors at each sample period. Okay, required space vector. The reference space vector V star can be synthesized by 3 stationary vectors. The dwell time for the stationary vectors essentially represents the duty time or on time of the chosen switches during a sampling period Ts of the modulation scheme. The term duty cycle is the ratio of the on time to the time period. A low duty cycle corresponds to low power. Okay. The dwell time calculation is based on volt second balancing principle, that is the product of the reference voltage V star and sampling period Ts equals to sum of the chosen voltage space vectors multiplied with the time duration. For example, in conventional DTC, hysteresis band DTC, we can have in the refer to this figure, we can have the voltage V1, we can apply voltage V1 or V2. We cannot apply anything in between voltage V1. So, we apply only voltages V1, V2, V6, V0 or V7. But in space vector PWM, we can apply a reference voltage V star, which is as shown here, which can have any magnitude at any angle, any phase angle. That is possible in space vector. And how to generate this reference voltage V star? So, as you see, this reference voltage V star is sum of this voltage which I have shown, this voltage of and another voltage along this voltage along V1 and another voltage along V2, these two voltages. When these two voltages are added, we get V star. So, how it is possible? So, we consider a sample time Ts. In that sample time Ts, we apply V1 for a time duration T1 dash, not for the entire sample period, but for a time duration T1 dash. Then, because we apply V1 for a time duration of T1 dash in a sample period Ts, this voltage length of this voltage vector is T1 dash by sampling time Ts into V1. Similarly, another voltage V2 in that period we apply for a time duration T2 dash. So, voltage of this vector is T2 dash by Ts into V2. Then remaining time is 0 voltage vector V0 or V7. So, that total sampling period is T1 dash plus T2 dash plus T0, and in that sample period, because we have applied V1 for a time duration T1 dash, V2 for a duration T2 dash, and remaining are 0 voltage, output is 0, the vector voltage obtained is V star. This is how the reference voltage is generated. So, taking the sampling period Ts sufficiently small, the reference vector V star can be considered constant during that sampling period. With this assumption, V star can be generated by 2 adjacent active vectors and 1 zero vector, just now as I have explained. When V star falls in sector 1 as shown in this figure 3, it can be synthesized by V1, V2, V0 as I have already explained. So, we get V star in space vector PWM, which is not possible in hysteresis band PWM. So, let us understand how the dwell times are calculated. Dwell time calculations are this T1, T2 dash, T1 dash, T2 dash and T0 dash. The volt second balancing principle is given by this. So, by equation 10. So, this is continuation from the previous class. In previous class we had equations up to 1 to 9. So, this is equation number 10. So, volt second balancing principle, V star is the reference voltage for a time duration Ts. So, total volt second is V star into Ts. In that total duration, we apply V1 for a time duration T1 dash. So, and V2 for a time duration T2 dash and V0 for a time duration T0 dash. So, total volt second balance principle is given by equation 10 as you have seen. And here sampling time Ts is sum of T1 dash, T2 dash and T0 dash, where T1 dash is the dwell time for vector V1 on time, dwell time means on time, T2 dash is the on time or dwell time for voltage V2 and T0 dash is the on time or dwell time for voltage V0. So, in general the voltage vector V star is represented as its magnitude at an angle theta, e to the power j theta, V star into e to the power j theta as given in equation 11. Okay. This is the, so say this is the reference value we apply here V star, it has a magnitude at an angle theta. So, we write it has a magnitude V star and phase angle e to the power j theta. This is the V star vector, reference voltage vector. So, equations 10 and 11, using equation 10 and 11 and resolving the voltage vector V star into rectangular components, real and imaginary components, let us see first. So, what is the real part? Real part is along the horizontal axis. This is the real part. So, what is the real part? Real part is V star into cos theta. The real part of voltage V star along the horizontal axis, because it makes angle theta with the horizontal axis, which is the reference. The magnitude is V star into cos theta. And in equation 10 we apply volt second balance principle, V star into V star cos theta into sampling time is Ts. So, out of that what is how it is obtained? We for V1 magnitude is 2 by 3 Vd, it is in the same direction on the horizontal axis. So, it is total voltage 2 by 3 Vd and it is applied for a time duration T1 dash, this is multiplied. And for V2 is at an angle 60 degree, this is the horizontal axis, V2 is at an angle 60 degree. So, what is the component of V2 along the horizontal axis, real axis? V2 cos 60, that means 1 by 2 into V2 into cos 60. V 1 by 2 into V2, and what is V2? V2 is 2 by 3 times the DC link voltage Vd. V2 magnitude is 2 by 3 Vd. So, this is 1 by 2 of horizontal component is 1 by 2 of V2, that means 1 by 3 times DC link voltage Vd, horizontal component. So, second term is due to V2, the real axis component of V2 is 1 by 3 into Vd in terms of DC link voltage, and this is applied for a duration T2 dash. So, this is multiplied, T2 dash is multiplied, and V0 is out 0 voltage. So, it will have no component in this equation. So, this is how equation number 12 is obtained for the real part, that means horizontal component. Similarly, imaginary component, vertical axis component. Vertical component for the V star, as you see here, it is V star into sin theta, because V star makes angle theta with the horizontal axis, the vertical axis is V star into sin theta, and time of application is duration Ts. So, from equation 10, the left hand side gives the component V star into sin theta into Ts. Then how it is obtained other components? The first term V1 has no component, because V1 is totally along the horizontal axis. So, it will have no component along y axis, vertical axis. So, V1 has no contribution. Okay. Then what is contribution of the second term? V2 is there. So, V2 we are considering its vertical component. So, vertical component is V2 into sin of 60 degree. Okay, because angle is 60 degree with the horizontal axis. The vertical component is V2 into sin 60. So, V2 is magnitude is 2 by 3 Vd and sin 60 is root 3 by 2. So, that this becomes 1 by root 3 times Vd, and time of application is T2 dash, so T2 dash is there, and V0 has, last term V0 has no contribution also to the imaginary component or vertical component. So, equation number 13 is obtained for the vertical axis component of applying voltage second principle. Now, we solve equations 12 and 13. First, let us solve equation number 13. From equation number 13, we directly get T2 dash. From equation 13, we obtain T2 dash is root 3 by Vd. This you take to the other side. So, root 3 by Vd, which is transferred into Ts into V star, Ts into V star into sin theta. So, this is equation number 15 is obtained for time T2 dash. Now, in equation 12, we have got two terms T1 dash and T2 dash. Out of that equation, we have already got expression for T2 dash as per equation number 15. Now, we substitute that T2 dash in equation number 12 and solve for T1 dash. Then you will get equation number 14. The other way is, because of the symmetry, same thing we can apply. What is the expression for T2 dash? We can same thing we apply for time duration T1 dash. Only thing is, angle theta has to be replaced by pi by 3 minus theta, because it is at V1 is at angle 60 degree with V2. Okay. T2 dash comes for V2 and V1 will lead to T1 dash. So, T1 dash V1 is at an angle 60 degree. So, by symmetry you can say same other terms remain same, only theta is replaced by pi by 3 minus theta. Otherwise, you can verify it in whatever equation T2 dash you get in equation number 15, you substitute in equation number 12 and find the expression of T1 dash is the same. And other time is T0 dash, which is given by equation number 16, that is sampling time Ts minus T2 dash minus T1 dash. These things here. So, these are the dual times are calculated according to equation number 14, 15 and 16. T1 dash, T2 dash and T0 dash are the dual time for voltage V1, V2 and V0 when the reference voltage is in sector 1, that means angle theta is between 0 and pi by 3. Angle theta between 0 to pi by 3 is the sector 1, voltage is reference voltage is in sector 1. So, we apply that voltage V star is obtained by applying V1, V2 and V0 3 voltages, and correspond for what duration? V1 for T1 dash, V2 for time V1 for time T1 dash, V2 for time T2 dash and V0 for time T0. These are the dual times which are given by these equations, these are obtained. Now, these equations are only for sector 1. If the reference voltage in any other sector, it can be anywhere, any other sector, how do we get? We find the angle theta dash given by equation number 17. What is that? Theta dash is theta minus k minus 1 whole into pi by 3, because k is the number of the sector. For sector 1, when the reference voltage in sector 1, that means k equal to 1. If k equal to 1, k minus 1 is 0. So, theta dash is theta, which is obtained given in equation 14, 15, 16. Leads to equation number 14, 15, 16. When k is in other than 1, that means 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, then we multiply k minus 1 into pi by 3. Pi by 3, because each voltage is they are shifted by 60 degree. So, pi by 3 into k is the sector. So, k minus 1 we multiply, and theta minus k minus 1 by 3 is theta dash, and that theta dash using that, instead of using theta, we use theta dash in equation 14, 15, 16 and we get corresponding voltage vectors dual times. Okay. So, theta is the general angle of the flux angle, reference voltage angle, and flux angle, and from theta we subtract and we convert it to theta dash by equation number 17 and use theta dash in equation 14, 15 and we obtain the first voltage, that means for, so let us say flux reference voltage V star is in sector 3, V star is in sector 3, that means k equals to 3. So, k equal to 3. So, that means theta dash is angle theta dash is theta minus 2 pi by 3, 2 pi by 3, that is 120 degree is subtracted, we get theta dash. So, in sector 3, so as you can see, so this is sector 1, sector 2, sector 3, okay, 3, 6, 3, sector 1, sector 2, sector 3. So, this is V1, this is V2 and this is V3 and this is V4. Okay. In sector 3, the reference voltage is generated by V3 and V4 and V0. Okay. So, that means we apply V3, for a time duration T1 dash, V4 for a time T2 dash and V0 for a time T0 dash. Now, this T1 dash, T2 dash, T0 dash are obtained in equation number 14, 15 using substitution replacing theta by theta dash, where theta dash is theta minus 2 pi by 3. So, same way it is extended for all sectors. And space vector expression. So, let us write V0, V0 is a 0 voltage. So, it is a V0 is 0. So, what is V1? V1 its magnitude is 2 by 3 Vd, it is the reference voltage. So, angle is 0. So, V2 magnitude is also 2 by 3 Vd, it is an angle pi by 3 with V1. Then V3 its magnitude is also 2 by 3 Vd, it is an angle 2 pi by 3 with V1. V4 magnitude is 2 by 3 Vd, it is at angle pi with V1. So, similarly, we get V5, V6 and V7 is a 0 voltage vector. So, this is how space vector voltages are defined. So, let us find position of V star location and dwell time. Okay. From whatever analysis we have just done, so let us consider the V star is located in the sector 1, V star is located in sector 1. So, how to compare the dwell times? So, when V star is located in sector 1, that means angle theta can be anything between 0 to pi by 3. Okay. So, sector 1 is 0 to pi by 3. So, if angle theta is 0, means V star is in, this is V1 and this is V star. So, angle theta is 0, V star, theta is the V star, angle of V star, so it is 0. So, in that case, so V2 need not be applied, because how do we get V star? V star is T1 dash into V1. So, V2 need not be applied. So, T2 dash corresponding to V2 is 0 and T1 dash is greater than 0 any finite value. So, it is a positive value. Similarly, suppose theta is pi by 3, that means this is the V1, at 60 degree we have V2 and V star is along, V star is also at angle 60 degree. That means V star is in the direction of V2. So, we have V star, that is T2 dash times V2. So, V1 need not be applied, because V1 need not be applied, because directly only through V2 we can generate V star. So, in that case T1 dash is 0, V1 need not be applied, and T2 dash is to be applied for a particular duration. So, T2 dash is greater than 0. Now, let us consider theta is pi by 6, that means V1, V2 and V star is in between, V star is at an angle 30 degree. So, in that case, because it is at the mid between V1 and V2, midway between V1 and V2, so it is dividing the angle between V1 and V2. So, we will have T1 dash equal to T2 dash, both will have same contribution, T1 is equal to T2 dash, and when angle is between 0 to pi by 6, T1 dash is greater than T2 dash, both are, they are non-zero, T1 dash and T2 dash is are non-zero, but T1 dash is greater than T2 dash. Similarly, when theta angle is between pi by 6 and pi by 3, both T1 and T2 dash are non-zero, but T1 dash is less than T2 dash. So, this is how table 3 is made to compare the dwell times. Okay. So, now we have, say this is for this is the sector 1, this is the sector 1, sector 2, sector 3, sector 4, sector 5, sector, this is sector 5, sector 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, okay. So, accordingly we resolve along the components. So, this is the D axis and this is the Q axis. So, the reference voltage V star has two components like V star, VQ star minus J VD star. V star is the reference voltage which can be at any angle. So, component of V star along the Q axis is VQ star and component of V star along the D axis which is at 90 degree lagging is VD star. So, it is minus J VD star as you see in this figure. So, when to generate the voltage V star, we can consider two rectangular components VQ star and VD star, or we can take them. Otherwise, we may consider the corresponding command modulation index MQ star given by VQ star by VD and MD star for the D axis modulation index reference value is VD star by VD, and M star is given by MQ star square plus MD star square root over. Because this equation corresponds to M star corresponds to V star, V star is VQ star square plus VD star square root over, V star is root over. So, in the same, this is how V star is generated. So, you can deal with VQ star and VD star separately, or we can convert them to modulation index, because all the time modulation index is defined by say MQ for the Q axis voltage is given by VQ by VD, and modulation index for the D axis voltage, that is MD, is given by VD by DC voltage VD. So, we can handle independently MQ and MD, or corresponding to MQ we can take VQ, and corresponding to MD we can take VD, and we can take either these two, or we can take VQ and VD. And when you take VD and VQ, we consider apply this V star equation. If we consider MQ and MD, we apply M star equation. This is how for control purpose of the reference voltage generation. So, now we in 14, 15, 16 we have the expression for T1 dash, T2 dash, T0 dash in that order. Now, we convert them from equation 14, we take T1 dash is M into TS into sin pi by 3 minus theta. What is M? M is the modulation index, that is given by root 3 reference voltage V star by DC voltage VD. By equation number 21 gives the modulation index M. M is the modulation index, that is root 3 times reference voltage V star divided by VD. This is the modulation index. This comes from equation number 14, you can see. So, we have the expression root 3 by VD multiplied with V star. We have in equation 14, 15, we have this root 3 by VD into V star, we replace them by M, modulation index M. Then we get from equation 14, we get equation number N, equation number 18, that is modulation index M into sampling time Ts, and sin term is remains as it is. Similarly, from equation 15, we replace the term root 3 into V star by root 3 V star by VD in equation number 15 is replaced by M. So, T2 dash is M, sampling time Ts, and sin theta remains as it is. So, we get equation number 19, and equation number 16 is same as equation number 20, just written for clarity. And maximum value of the modulation index M max equals to 1. So, the maximum modulation equal to 1. So, M max is 1, corresponding to that the maximum magnitude of the reference voltage V star is obtained here. M maximum magnitude M is 1. So, we have maximum value from equation number 21, maximum value of the reference voltage Vm star is Vd by root 3, directly you get it from equation number 21, Vd by root 3, that is equation number 22. M equals to 1, so for maximum modulation and corresponding voltage. So, we have M max equal to root 3 V star Vm star by Vd, and this is 1. So, we have Vm star is Vd by root 3, and that is the maximum value of the voltage Vm star, and then maximum fundamental line to line voltage is, because we have, when we write this V star is a phasor, and in phasor we represent the peak value of the sinusoidal quantity. So, when we consider the line to line voltage, that is for phase voltage V star also. Now, for line to line voltage we multiply root 3, and again it is the peak value, and for RMS value we divide root 3. So, we get the maximum fundamental line to line voltage in RMS is Vm, that is root 3 Vm star by root 2. So, modulation indices for different switching states. So, let us write. So, first for switching state V1, that means V1, that is 1 0 0, V1 is 1 0 0. So, it has the component MQ, that is along, because it is horizontal, Q axis is horizontal. So, angle is 0. So, MQ component is 2 by 3 cos 0, 2 by 3 cos 0, because MQ means that is V star divided by Vd, and and for when for V1 is 2 by 3 into Vd, 2 by 3 into Vd. So, V1 by Vd is 2 by 3, it is at angle 0, so cos 0, and horizontal vertical component is not there, so minus sin 0, because at 90 degree component will be sin 0 component, minus 90 degree, it is cos 0 because angle is 0 degree, and because sin vertical component will be sin 0, minus sign is taken because it is in downward direction. Similarly, let us consider switching state 2, that is 1 1 0. So, V2, this is the voltage V2. So, V2 is at 60 degree. Okay. So, 2 by 3 Vd by Vd whole into cos 60 degree is the Q axis modulation index MQ. So, 2 by 3 cos 60 degree, and horizontal component will be 2 by, vertical component will be 2 by 3 sin 60 degree, because it is in downward direction, it is minus. So, similarly, for other switching states you get the modulation indices. Now, operating scheme of the space vector modulation DTC. First of all, the PWM inverter is feeding the 3-phase induction motor, and from the 3-phase induction motor we have a speed sensor, and we take the speed feedback, actual speed feedback from the speed sensor. Then we have a reference speed and a speed controller compares the speed reference with the actual speed and implements the controller, and from the speed controller output what we generate is the voltage and frequency to give the desired speed. These are the inputs to the space vector modulation generator. So, space vector modulation generator generates from V to F, it generates the reference value V star and F, and for that it generates the pulses switching V star and F at which angle, theta, angle theta, these are given to PWM inverter. So, PWM inverter converts it to pulses and feeds to the induction motor, corresponding voltage to the inverter. The motor speed is compared with the reference speed for the closed loop speed control. PI controller used in speed loop gives reference voltage and frequency to generate the 3-phase sinusoidal voltage signals. These sinusoidal signals are used in the space vector modulation generator, and based on the space vector position in the space vector generator calculates the switching times for 2 consecutive switching vectors and a 0 volt switching vector. based on equations, dual time equations. So, this is the control block diagram. So, the speed controller gives to the SVM voltage, required voltage V and the frequency f. Now, there is a at the beginning of the SVM we have a 3-phase generator which generates the 3-phase control voltages VAO. These are the control voltages generated by in the first stage. Then there is a conversion from ABC to alpha beta. So, the VABC are converted to V alpha and V beta. So, from that the sector is calculated in which sector the voltage has to be located, reference voltage is located, and from that sector location V alpha, V beta and sector pulses switching time is calculated based on the equations, that is dual times. So, let us say for each sector there is a time T1 dash, T2 dash and T0 dash. The switching times are calculated and accordingly pulses are generated and goes to the logic circuit for driving the switches of the inverter. And there is a ramp generator which is giving input to the switching timetable, switching time calculator and also the gate logic and for the timing and resetting, and DC voltage is also taken as feedback and through low pass filter it control gives to the gate circuit. So, this is the control block diagram of the space vector modulation. So, this is the Simulink model of space vector modulation DTC. First we have a 3-phase inverter and feeding to the induction mode 3-phase induction motor. This part is the measurement block. We take the measurements of VABC and IABC, that is going from the inverter to the motor, and also for the motor we have a load torque which we can take as input, load torque command input, and to the PWM 3-phase inverter we give the pulses which is generated by the SVM control circuit. Then from the motor we take the measurements of stator currents and stator currents IA, IB, IC, 3 currents are taken and voltages are taken. So, from that voltage flux components phi q and phi d are computed, from which the actual flux magnitude is calculated and also its angle is calculated, and speed is also taken as feedback, electromagnetic torque is also estimated. These are the outputs. Now, by in the control block we take the speed feedback. From here we have the speed feedback and we have the reference speed N and N star, they are compared, and speed controller generates the reference voltage V star and its frequency, and these are the inputs to the SVM generator, voltage, frequency and DC bus voltage. These are the inputs to the DC bus and it generates the pulses based on the equations, and these pulses go to the PWM inverter. So, this is the Simulink model diagram. So, this is all about the talk, and you can see the references like Peter Vass, Takahashi and Noguchi, Deppenbrock. So, these are some of the references you can go through. So, some of the references are also like these. And also other references are like this. These are the references. Thank you for attention.